So in part A, before we talked about the direction of the business and the direction of the employee having to be in line so that we've identified the direction of the business and we've identified, or the employees have identified, that their goals in life, their career goals, supplement the direction of the business. That is the only way, we have both agreed, that is the only way that we are going to have an employee serve a business 100%. But we have to work out what the direction of the employee is. One method is hard, one method is relatively easy. We then said that the easy part was the numbers. In terms of an employee, I work good hours, I get good money, and a few of those things. The difficult part, that only is partially responsible for an employee having a positive attitude towards work. It's a very short term method with which to get a person to be motivated to do a good job. The main one, which is hard to measure, which is over here, anecdotal. For example, an employee will tell me, yes, the hours are pretty good, they could be better, I'm getting paid reasonably, but I just love my job. When I get in front of a class, when I'm teaching kids, when I have an adult who says that they made a big difference in my life, that is the reason why I'm doing this. So the hard part for an employer is to be able to identify how to measure this hard section. Now, there is only a few ways to be able to identify that, and then both of those ways involve asking. So our first two methods is to be able to ask the parents and the students, and that may be in the form of verbal communication, it might be in the form of an online survey or some method with which we wish to get feedback on the enjoyment of the client. And the other anecdotal method is to actually ask the employee, the person themselves, how they feel about it. And that is where there's no easy way around this. That is where the owner must take a true, honest interest in the feedback of the employee. If an owner wants the employee to take a true and honest, close relationship with all of his students and care about his students as much as the employer does, then the employer must take that same attitude towards his or her employees. The employer must have a same, probably even a higher care factor about their employees. So to summarize, to ensure that the direction of the business is being complemented by the employees, the direction of each employee should be investigated so that it supports the direction of the business. And the two methods we use with which to be able to identify the direction of the business and the direction of the employees is a numerical method, and we're talking about the numbers involved in crunching the performance of the business and the numbers involved with the crunching of the performance of the employee. The hard part is the anecdotal method. And sometimes you just need to ask the parents and students how they're feeling about the performance of an employee, maybe specifically, maybe not specifically, and an employer has to stay in constant contact with the employee. And it might be verbally, it might be written, but the employer absolutely must be able to identify the journey that the employee is on, which will change from year to year. How'd you go? I know that that's only just the start, and what I'll do after I shut down this little conclusion is I'll just list some of the numbers that we can measure within a business and some of the numbers that we can measure in an employee's performance, so that at least you can start saying to the employee, okay, here's the numbers that you have been gathering for me as a result of your performance. Here's how many students have been coming to your classes. Here's the percentage of the students that have been coming to your classes that are actually enrolled in your classes. Here's the number of people you've graded, etc., etc. And then you can also say that is how you fit into the overall business goals for the year. For instance, we want to go from 200 to 250 members. Your class has stayed at 45 members. So your class has gone from 45 to 50 or whatever it might be. So you can see how they played a part in that overall business performance. So good luck. If you need any help, flick me an email, and I'm more than happy to share some of the stuff that I've done with other clients or ideas that I have, because the most important thing is to make a measurable difference and feel that you are creating something of true value to both your employees and of course your students.